Next up, we're going to take a look at the split statement. You use the split statement if you want to separate the contents of a field into two or more fields. The statement is fairly simple to use, so I'll go ahead and create some code and then we'll go through it line by line. Okay, I've created the code, and the first section you'll see is that I've created some new data statements called myString, and then A1, A2 and A3, and sep2, which is a separator. So let's go through it. The myString variable is 30 characters in length. Then the A1, A2, A3 are 10 characters in length. Then the separator is 2 characters, and you can see I've assigned a value of double asterisk. And that's just going to be used to identify where we need to separate our string. So I'm going to move the data statements into position at the top of the program so we keep it all in order. There we go. And now we'll take a look at the split statement itself. So I'm going to show you 2 examples, and the first one is I'm populating myString with a value of a leading space, then what you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 asterisk asterisk space ABCD space asterisk asterisk 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to write out the string on the report just so we can see it in the results with a blank line, and then comes the split statement. Now this statement starts with the word split, and then you add the string that you want to split. So in our case we're going to split myString. Then we have the addition of at, and following at we have a separator. Now this could be a literal, so I could do this. But in this example, we're just going to use a predefined variable, sep2, which contains the double asterisk. Then we got into, and then these are the fields we want the split contents to be written to. So what we'll end up with, if we go through it, I've specifically made the string look a little bit odd, making sure we have a leading space, then we have an asterisk, then space, then we have a space before the asterisk. So you can see how the split statement actually populates the fields the data wants to go into. So I'll execute the code and we'll go through the results. So here we go. So our split statement is splitting a leading 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, asterisk, asterisk, and it's going to split at the first double asterisk. So we can see our first A1 results field does contain the leading space. It has then been split at the double asterisk, and you'll note the result has filled in blank spaces for the rest of the field. We then have the second field filled with from the blank space all the way to the blank space before the next double asterisk. And this is A2, and also it's filled with trailing spaces. Then the last result is 6, 7, 8, 9, and you'll see there's no space after the double asterisk, so that has gone one column further to the left and filled the remainder of the field with blank spaces again. So that's quite straightforward. Let's go back to the code, and what we'll do this time is take a look at this second example. And the way this differs is I've added another set of double asterisks for our separator, and then added some more characters at the end of our string. So what I'm trying to show here is we want to split the contents of my string into 3 fields. But when we look at the contents, because we're using the double asterisk as separator, we've actually got enough to fit into 4 fields. So what the system does in this case is for the last field that's going to be filled, it will actually contain the remainder of the string as well. So we'll execute the code, have a look at the results, and hopefully all will become clear. Here we go. So the difference here is our third field is going to be filled with 6789, but because we have double asterisk again, we're trying to split the remainder of my string into another field where we haven't declared a 4th field. So this becomes the remainder and it gets appended into the last field we have declared. So it's important to keep in mind that if your separator would result in more splits than the number of fields that are available for the contents to be moved into, then the remainder will be put in the last field. If the last field isn't big enough, then it will be truncated. One last point, just to note that if the field you are trying to split does not contain the valid separator string, then the whole contents of that field will be moved to the first field that you are trying to split the contents into.